Hey YouTubers, today I'm going to be talking about the RCBS Pro Chucker 5. I'm not going to be doing a review today, but I'm going to be talking about a couple of components and a perceived upgrade or modification to the system if you've bought this new. So as usual, I want to say folks at RCBS, they're pretty great. They sent this out for me to try. I think MSRP on this is north of $600-700, something like that. But if you're buying this lately, they're running a lot of promos. I think offering in the range of $175 mail-in rebate. So you can get this for just under $400. Seems to be pretty solid as well, but again, I'm going to be talking about an upgraded or modified component. So let me bring you on in here. So if you look at what I have going on here, it's the Pimer Transfer charge bar on mine has broke. So I want to do a little side-by-side comparison here, and I'm going to bring you over now. Here's effectively the transfer bar that came with it. This is the large priming one. It's marked 5L, you can see there. And if you compare it to what they've just sent me, you see that this little peg there has broken off. It's plastic, it's pretty cheap, breaks fairly easily. And so they send two out with the original packaging, and mine broke fairly quickly. So I gave the folks at RCBS a call. As I mentioned, their customer service is great. You get to speak with somebody who's very knowledgeable, gives you a lot of info. And so I'm going to talk about what I learned. First, comparing these, looking at them side by side again. I'm going to try and get as close as I can here, let you all see it. They look pretty similar, but what I want to point out is on the one that they sent me, they told me that they redesigned this part. And if you look closely, the difference here is that lip. I'm kind of pointing at it there. That lip is different on the one that they sent me. So I'm assuming that's the redesign, because if I flip it on its side here, other than that, I don't see any differences. And in talking with the person on the phone, what he informed me was this redesign, which again I assume is that lip, what happened when they originally built this Pro Chucker 5 hasn't been out very long. I don't know, maybe a year or 2 years, something like that. When they originally built this and tested it, and I'm assuming that's with this original transfer bar, they were testing it with federal primers. So when I called in and let him know that I had broke two of these, and it's, as you can see, a pretty flimsy plastic part. It's meant to be the weak link. If you're pulling on this press, you're generating a lot of force. It snaps like nothing, and then your system will no longer feed primers automatically, which makes the progressive press effectively useless. So he told me as they designed this and built it, they tested with federal primers exclusively. And the assumption was that all primers are the same, which is a fair assumption. And so when I called in, he asked, are you loading with Winchester primers? I told him, yes, I am. Hornady book calls for Winchester large pistol primers and Winchester small pistol primers in most cases. So he said, well, that is what caused this. So for me, as I was loading with Winchester large pistol primers on 45 ACP, you know, as this was sliding back and forth, it was hanging up, and then that plastic piece would snap. And he told me that is what happens because the Winchester primers are made slightly different than the federal primers. So he didn't comment on CCI. I tend to not use CCI. But just a heads up, if you're out there reloading and you're using Winchester large pistol primers, you're going to run into this and probably will need to call RCBS, and they will send you out the replacement part. So I'm going to go ahead and install the replacement part, and we'll see how it works. So now that we're all buttoned down, the last step is to grab this primer feeding spring, hook it up, and we are good to go there. Lastly, attach the primer feed tube. All ready for operation. And I'm going to try and get an angle here now so you can see the operation now that we're all back in effect. As you pull the stroke, you see that spring tension building on the Pimer Transfer Bar. Effectively what it's done is and I'll demonstrate with the broken piece, it's pulled this back so that hole aligns, allowing a primer to transfer down, and then on the downstroke it's going to pull it into place to seat that primer. So there you go. As you push down, the primer to be there and seat. So everything appears functional again. One more time, I'm going to try and get a good view back here. And this is going to be, I think, one of the weak links, but effectively on this rail back here, you see the little plastic piece that is broken off of this. That's what allows the primer transfer bar to glide up and down the mechanism there, and that is all that is delivering your primers. So hope that helps you all out, and I will be reviewing and testing this out with Winchester primers, and hopefully that solves the problem. Thank you all and enjoy.